Do 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 do. Hello, everyone. This is Ethercast live from Silicon Valley, where we are now doing Ethereum news updates at the beginning of every meetup. First thing you should know is that everyone in the Ethereum community is suddenly cool. That's what TechCrunch says, and it must be true. So take a look at the cool crowd you're now part of. Okay, most of the news for the last little couple weeks has been around the Dow. Now maybe fifth total market cap, and suddenly everyone is thinking, what is this Dow thing? It's kind of arrived and on people's minds, the Autonomous Corporation. If you don't know exactly what that is, probably should read one of these articles. But briefly, it's an organization created by Ethereum smart contracts that has no official owner, and in which the fund disbursement is decided by the shareholders. Interestingly enough, as New York Times says, it's a venture fund. Very similar, except with no single central point of failure or person behind it. Opinions have been mixed. So some people say, goodbye venture capital, the DAO. I have said similar things myself in the past. Others say, what can possibly go wrong with a kibbutz-like VC backed by Design by Giant Nerd Committee? Well, let's find out. Well, interestingly enough, first proposal to come out was about preserving the security of the DAO, a request for a total of 1%, seen by small by some, but large by others, and the response was not entirely positive. Slockit have finally lost their minds with this proposal, with many voices on Reddit saying, among other things, this only took us 10 minutes to implement. Well, this led Wired Magazine to say, well, it seems like it's kind of a mess. Raised over $168 million, the largest crowdfunded project ever, and now it's turned into a little bit of a brouhaha, leading to a moratorium proposal from the curator saying, hello, maybe we should just stop and wait until all of these problems are fixed. However, not everyone agrees in the curators, and it seems like all of the curators are not sure exactly what the role is here. Is it just whitelisting proposals that have the right bytecode, or are there other moral, ethical, other types of responsibilities? Well, in the actual DAO moratorium proposal itself, it does outline what are some very serious attack vectors. Among other things, a disincentive for voting no, and a interesting few ways that it can sort of be hacked, so to speak, by large holders. What's happened? Well, the overwhelming voting so far on the moratorium proposal has been positive, but this is non-binding, and it did not reach the quorum. That seems to also be the case with the other two semi-legitimate proposals that are out there, to either raise the amount necessary to create a proposal or to send tokens back to the DAO. Neither of them look particularly likely like they're going to reach the quorum, and they are advisory votes at this moment, not binding votes. Interestingly enough, the Slockit people did come out addressing these things, in my opinion, quite elegantly. With a coding standard, this will be something that will be under review for the next couple weeks, and we will certainly cover again. Definitely worth keeping up on. Other interesting stuff. Well, what else is working on Ethereum? Not actually a lot of very clear examples of things besides the DAO that are out and being worked on in any kind of production setting. However, interestingly, there is lots of participation about, again, more DAO proposals, including very interesting possible reputation-based system by Backfeed, as well as Ethereum hardware wallet. So what else has been up? Well, Decentralized Web Summit was this week. Lots of Ethereum participation, from ETH Core to Main to Backfeed, Decentralized Autonomous Society. A little bit of interest in how DAOs can be applied to public good problems and governance in general. In fact, the Decentralized Autonomous Society has started to pull a little bit on its existing momentum to say, well, what can be done here in the governance sector? And some interesting people come out of the woodwork. Nick Szabo presenting this week on decentralizing law, talking about the problems in giving someone root access to government. J.R.R. Tolkien wrote a couple of books about that, very interesting. Ralph Merkel. If you don't know who Ralph Merkel is, look him up. Hopefully, and he has an interesting proposal about how democracy itself might be able to be augmented and bettered by DAOs. So surely interesting times ahead, both for the DAO, Ethereum in general, and in general, Ether price has responded positively, going up recently on the Bitcoin rise, and the Dow, which was dipping a little bit below, now it seems to be on a bit of a rebound. So good news for everyone, and stay tuned for our next episode.